Good morning, everybody, and welcome to an hour of Circus Skills here at Homemade Towersey. I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. We've got loads more to come. And for the next hour, this is your opportunity to grab your Circus Skills equipment, be that juggling balls, diablos, devil sticks, unicycles, juggling clubs, rings, and whatever else you've got. Join in with me if you like, or just spend the next hour having a great time doing some Circus Skills. If you get the opportunity, do make some little films, upload them to our Facebook so we can have a look at what you're up to and we can all feel like we're together doing some circus stuff. So sit back and enjoy, put some music on in the background. I'll take you through a few tricks and sometimes I'll just stand over here and juggle and let you get on with things. So let's start with the basics. So we're going to start with some very basic juggling. And now, if you have never juggled before, this is a great time to learn. It's much easier than you think. You won't get it today, but if you get the basics, then you can pick it up another time. It's very calming. It's good for meditation, and it's also just a great party trick to have. The 3-ball juggle. Okay, we're going to start with 1 ball. So very simply, imagine that you've got a box in front of you here, about your head height, and it goes up, across, and down like this. All you're going to do is put your hands at either bottom corner of that box, and you're simply going to throw this ball so that it hits the top of that box and drops into your hand, like so. Try and keep your head still, watch the ball with your eyes, and your eye position when you're juggling, in the main, is kind of here at the top of the throw, as opposed to looking at your hands. Your hands will be in your peripheral vision, and you will catch the ball. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now that might seem very boring and repetitive, and it is a little bit, but if you just do 5 minutes every day and just throw that ball one hand to another like this, until you're super confident with both hands, and that you can catch it just as easily with your left as you can with your right. Okay, once you've got that, and that will take some time, then you move on to 2 balls. Here we go, I'll put the white over here where it started, my right hand. So both hands at the bottom of the box. Oh, there's Edie. Say hello, Edie. She'll probably chase these balls if I drop them. So let's try not to do that. Okay, so 2 balls, one in each hand. You're going to throw the white one, it's going to hit the top of the box, and when it does so, you throw the red one underneath. So remember that box we talked about? You throw the white one, it hits the top, you throw the red one underneath. Here we go, simple as this. 1, 2, like that, okay? Let's do that again, watch the white ball, hits the top of the box, throw. Do that one more time, hits the top of the box, throw. Okay? Keep the throws nice and steady, decent height, don't rush with your left hand. Don't throw it too early, don't panic, okay? 1, 2. Nice and calm. Okay, and then the next time we do it, we're going to start with our left hand. So the white ball's in the left hand. Keep nice and relaxed, okay? And we go 1, 2. Do that again. 1, 2. Lovely. Okay, great. So once you've got that, you put that together. So we're going to do from the right hand to the left hand and then back again. Okay, remember, top of the box. Keep nice and calm and steady. Deep breath. And 1, 2, 1, 2. So we've just put those 2 pieces together. Do that again. Hits the box. Hits the box. Simple as that. And the dog tried to join in. She's my able assistant today. Okay. Do that one more time with me. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, I'm not doing that very well. 1, 2, 1, 2. Lovely. Once you've got that, and do that for quite some time, once you've absolutely nailed that, you then go on to putting that together so that there's a continuous flow. Okay, like so. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and so on. Nice and simple, hey? Okay, at this point, I'm going to introduce you a little tip. I'm going to find something to put in front of me so that I don't walk. Bear with me. Okay, what you will find is you have a tendency to want to walk forward. Can you see that? So I'm putting something in front of me to stop that happening. What people tend to do is they tend to throw forward and end up walking forward like that. So put something in front of you, a chair, a box, anything that will stop you walking forward, okay? So that you don't have that tendency to throw and lurch forward. And then go again, 1, 2. Nice and simple. Lovely stuff. Okay, great. Okay, once you've mastered that, and again, that could take you the whole day. You can watch all the rest of the wonderful music and workshops and all the way through the cane if you want, and just keep practicing that. Okay, then once you've got that, you move on to 3 balls. Edie is very, very keen to join in. I'm going to have to get her. Go on. Okay, so we move on to 3 balls. I'll come a bit closer for this. White ball's in the right hand again, red ball's here. There are 2 balls we've been working with. And now we've got the green. And what you do is you pop it in the back of your hand like that. Okay? And when the white one's gone, the green one will then naturally roll forward. Don't overthink that. Don't worry about it, but it'll just happen. See that? It's just ready to throw. Okay? But don't overthink that. Just have it there in the back of your hand. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to do our 1, 2. This time, when the red one hits the top of the box, you're going to throw the green one. And now we're into a 3-ball juggle. But I don't want you to think about or worry about catching the balls, okay? So you're just going to let them fall. You're going to go 1 with the white, 2 with the red, 3 with the green, and you're not going to catch them, like so. Remember the box. When it hits the top of the box, release. Ready? 1, 2, 3. The easiest form of juggling. Okay, good stuff. Let's try that one more time. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And notice how the balls are crossing underneath each other all the time. Everything goes underneath, okay? That's called the cascade. And later on today, I'll show you a trick called the reverse cascade. But for now, let's go back to where we were. White ball, red ball, okay? So you're just going to throw and release. And when the ball hits the top of the box, you let the next one go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Easy. You got that? Fab. Okie dokie. Now, the hard part, catching them. Okay, but still just exactly the same. Stay nice and calm. Let the balls hit the top of the box. Think about each ball in turn. Don't think ahead too far, okay? So it's just 1 throw, 2 throw, 3 throw. If you don't catch them, it doesn't matter. Let's go back. Oops. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Simple, eh? Nice and easy. Where did I start? Like that. Okay, ready? And again. 1, 2, 3. Just go back behind the box. Remember, if you're walking forward, this is the thing to do. And we go. 1, 2, 3. Lovely. Okay, once you've got that, and that will take a long, 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 long time, okay, if you've never juggled before. But perhaps you've got a few basic skills. You've already got the basic cascade. In which case, we're going to work on your technique and how to improve that 3-ball juggle, okay? So very simply, you get that 3-ball juggle going like this. And the way you do that is you do the 3, and then you add a 4, and then you add a 5, and then you add a 6. And I remember when I first started to juggle, it was always the challenge to get to the next number. So you'd start with the 1, 2, 3, and then you can add a 4th. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow. Okay. Now you're really juggling. And once you've got that nice, simple cascade pattern, you then relax it down a little bit. Okay. So you'll see I've shortened the throw a little bit. It's a little bit lower than my head now. My shoulders are nice and relaxed. It's a very calm, easy motion that you should be able to do for hours and hours and hours. And notice the way my hands are moving in a kind of circular pattern. They're going catching, and you'll see that it's kind of like this because you're catching, releasing, catching, releasing, catching, releasing. So just watch my hands. Yep, lovely. And we could just put some music on, and we could just chill out here for 20 minutes and just enjoy some nice, simple 3-ball juggling. Okay, Now you've got that basic 3-ball juggle, it's now time to introduce some little tricks. And for those of you who've just learnt to juggle today, just carry on doing what you were doing. Watch this video, have it on in the background, have a listen, come back to it later, but keep going with the 3 balls. This stuff is for people who can already do the basic 3-ball juggle, but they want to just find themselves another little challenge, okay? So here's a few tricks that we can throw in. First of all, I talked about it earlier, we're going to do the reverse cascade. So the normal cascade is throwing underneath like that. The reverse cascade is what you would imagine, and the balls go over the top. So let me just show you, and then I'll break it down. So they go over, like so. And all you're doing is reversing, really, that hand pattern that I was talking about. So you notice my hands are kind of going the other way now. And all that's happening is when the ball is coming down, hit the top of the box, it's coming down, you throw that ball over the top rather than underneath. So I'll show you with the white ball and the red ball. White ball comes up, red ball goes over the top. Red ball comes up, white ball goes over the top. Over the top. Over the top. Other hand rather. Over the top. Over the top. Over the top. Yeah? So slow it right down. Over the top, over the top, over the top, over the top, over. I'm sort of exaggerating it there with my hands. If you slow it right down, you can go really, 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 really fast. And then go back into a normal juggle. And then reverse, 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 reverse. Oop, here we go. Okay, so that's one nice little change of pattern for you. A simple trick. Let's do an under. I think this is the first trick I learnt, and certainly one of the easiest ones, okay? So this involves crossing your hands, like so. So instead of the ball coming from your right hand, up and down to your left hand, your right hand's actually going to go under, throw the ball up and into your left hand. Show you that again. It's going to go under, catch, under, catch. So it ends up in the same place, so the pattern isn't broken. Instead of going like that, it's going like that. Okay, I'll just show you that. Watch the white ball. There it is. There it is. There it is. And you can kind of exaggerate it and make it easy for yourself by moving this arm across so that this arm's not having to do all the work. So you don't have to kind of go over here and throw it. You're just kind of going whoop, and cheating it. Watch the white ball again. Whoop. There it is. There it is. There it is. Fantastic. Now, I learnt to juggle at Towsey Festival, would you believe? Of course you would believe that. I've been going all my life. I learnt from a wonderful juggler called Richie 3 Balls Taylor, who was one of the fabulous Salami brothers. Salamis used to do circus workshops at Towsey every year, and they were huge. And it's one of my ambitions to bring more circus back to Towsey, so look out for that in future editions of the festival. I don't really juggle very much these days. Busy running festival, family, dog, but I miss it and I love doing it. So when I get the opportunity, it's great to have a little go again. Okay, so let's go back to that under, which is the first trick I learned from Richie. You watch the white ball, and under it goes, and then if you watch the other hand, we can go there. And then once you've really nailed that, and the way to practice it is just to keep popping it up like that, pop, and then bring the throw in, pop, throw. Pop, throw, pop, throw. And that left hand is kind of coming over across to allow that under, and then it's really just popping that ball up to get it out of the way. If you watch, I go under, under, and then to go back into the juggle, it's under, and we're back into the juggle. Under, back into the juggle, yeah? And once you've really nailed that and got it with both hands, you can then put it into the juggle all the time, so you can go under, 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 under. You kind of make it into a big exaggerated chop, yeah? And then you can combine that with the reverse cascade, or an over, some people call it, and put overs in. So you go over, over, under, over, over, under. And all I'm doing is doing reverse cascade there, and then putting an under in like that. So you can go over, over, under, over, under, under, over, and mix it up like that. And then you get into a really, really great trick called Mills Mess, which is just a combination of those things. Now, I'm not going to teach you that today because it's pretty complicated, and those that have mastered overs and unders will work it out if you just watch this. This is what's called Mills Mess. So there's a mixture of overs, unders, and even a sort of reverse throw in there. There we go, Mills mess. Okay, and last but not least for our ball juggling section, we're going to do a little bit of two-hand juggling where you can have some fun. Okay, so once you've mastered this three ball, the two ball is relatively easy. It's just one hand, one ball going up. As it comes down, you're throwing the other ball, like so. Yeah? Now there are different ways you can do this. You can do it in a circular pattern like this, or the other way. You see my hand moving round to create that circle, or my favourite, which is just the up and down like this, which I think is the most elegant, looks the best. And then you can do it with the other hand as well. And that's how we work our way into a four ball juggle. Ooh. Once you can do both hands, you can do a four ball juggle. We won't come on to that till later, perhaps if we get time. But then what you can do is have some fun with that one-handed juggle and put some silliness in. So you can do a thing called the yo-yo, where you're almost imagining that that ball is attached to the green ball. So, and then you can combine the two ball juggle with the single juggle as well. So you can go like this and then put that ball in, and then you end up with that one. And that, oh dear, I'm sorry. Showing off a bit. And then you end up with this one. Whoop. So you can go out of that. Whoop. There we go. And that is three ball juggling. Wind back the video if you want to go back to the basics. Like I say, this video will run for about an hour of different bits and bobs, but just keep whizzing back to the bit you want to do. If you just want to focus on three ball juggling, go back and do that. If you want to move on with me next to some, I think we'll do Diablo next actually, which I'm not very good at, but I'll have a go. We'll do some Diablo, and then later on we'll do some more club juggling. Okay, this is a Diablo. Probably the most popular circus toy at festivals, particularly at Towersey. You'll always see loads and loads of young people and older people having a go at Diablo. Probably because it's a very accessible circus skill. People who are fantastic at Diablo make it look so easy, and there are some amazing tricks. I'm not great at it, but I can do a few basics, so I shall teach you how to do the Diablo. And you'll find one of these online from our circus supplier. There's a link on the website. They're really, really cheap, and they're definitely worth picking up for kids to have a go with in the garden. Okay, basically, they have a little metal bit in the middle here, which spins on some models, and on others it's static. And basically, the idea is the string whips this round and makes the Diablo spin. I shall show you how right now. So this is the Diablo. So we pop it down there on the floor. Can you see that? Let's move back a bit. There we go. Okay. So, put the Diablo down. I just ease it up with my foot and put the string underneath. So you're looking to have the string underneath the Diablo like so, okay? And then there are a number of different ways of starting. You can roll it if you're on nice flat ground. I'm not on very even ground here. You can roll it like that. And then if you're right-handed, you want to pick it up as it rolls to your left. So it goes to your left and you pick it up, and then you just gently start spinning it like that with the stick. You can see I'm holding my left hand perfectly still, and I'm holding with my right hand, I'm just gently tapping it round like that, and that gets the Diablo spinning. Okay, and I'll just show you the other way to start. Once you've got it a bit, is just to put the stick right down low like that. Just come back a bit so you can see, and literally just pick it up like that. Get it spinning. It's a bit harder and you get a bit of a wobble, okay, at the beginning, but I'll show you how to get rid of that wobble as we go on. So as you can see, left hand very, very still, right hand is whipping the Diablo like that to give it some speed, and what that's doing is effectively pulling the string, which is therefore pushing the Diablo round. Okay, I'm sort of exaggerating it like that. What I normally do is like that. Okay. Now, sometimes you'll find that the Diablo will tip forwards like that, and the way to adjust that is to pull the string back and let the string push the Diablo back flat again. Okay, and if it goes backwards a bit like that, you take the string forward like this to balance it out. Okay, and by doing that, you keep the diablo perfectly flat in the middle. All right. So just have a go at that. Everybody get those diablos. I can picture hundreds and hundreds of Towersy kids, young people, getting the diablos out now. I hope they're all joining in with me. I don't often get a chance to have a go at the festival itself. I'm running around a bit, so it's lovely to have a go today. So here we go, diablos whipping round. Most of these things can be done indoors if you're inside. Just some of the higher tricks later on in the day you might not be able to do, but this sort of stuff, easy, you can do it. So there we go, that's the basic diablo. So once you've got that basic spin going, you can start doing a few tricks. And as I said right at the top, I'm not great on the diablo, it's not my forte, but I will show you a few basics, and then if you jump online you'll find all kinds of videos and wonderful diablo performances. So one of the first ones to learn is where you throw the diablo over one stick, you swing it over one stick, catch it back on the string. I'll show you it first, then we can break it down a bit. So we go over, catch it on the string, back over like that. Yeah? Do that again. Over, catch it on the string, back over. And all you're doing there basically is swinging the diablo like that, and then it's going over this stick, and you're catching it on this string here. Okay? So we get a bit of a swing. Get it going nice and fast for tricks so that you've got time to do it without the diablo slowing right down. So give it a good whip like this. Over, catch, back over like that. If you want to get the diablo going really fast, there's a number of ways of doing it. One is just to whip really, really hard like this. You can tap the sticks like that. Gets it going very, very fast. Or you can whip it like this. Whip. That gets it going super, super fast, which is useful before you do a trick. So let's just do that one again. Over, like that. Lovely. And then what all first-time dabblers and young people want to do is throw the diablo. It's a bit windy today, so I won't go too high. But basically a throw is you pull the two sticks like this to make a kind of trampoline, and the diablo goes flying up in the air, and then keep the string nice and taut, and using this right stick as your sort of aim, catch it back on the string. So it goes up. You see how I pointed the right stick at it so that I could catch it again? Up it goes. There it goes. Catch it again. One more for luck. Probably get this one wrong. Up. Woo! That was a good one. Okay, so that's your basic throw with diablo. So get those diablos out. Loads more tricks you can do. I'm gradually being turned around here, so I'm going to stop and turn back around this way. So that is diablo. Just some very basics there, but a really good starter if you're starting off doing circus skills. Get enormous satisfaction very quickly from it. It's very, very easy to pick up. So grab yourself a diablo, have a go, and we'll move on to devil sticks. Okay, what are devil sticks? Well, they're 3 sticks, really. That's what they are. One slightly longer one, 2 shorter ones. These have got a kind of plastic coating, which like a sort of tape that helps the sticks grip, and you'll see what I mean and why that's useful in a minute. But effectively, it's just 3 sticks, okay? Now, devil sticks, again, I'm not brilliant at them, but I can teach them the basics. So what we do is we start with this stick either down here on the floor, like so, you see that? And a good technique for learning is just to go backwards and forwards, like this. Because the real trick with devil sticks is not to hit them, but to catch them and then push them back up, rather than this, which you'll get quite a lot of. Yeah? So we don't want that, we want this nice, slow motion like that, okay? Once you've got that, there are 2 ways of getting it off the ground. You can either just start from the ground and work your way up, or you can just start with it trapped between the 2 sticks, like so, and just start to manoeuvre it like that. And you'll see I'm not hitting it backwards and forwards like this, I'm slowly letting it catch on the stick and then throwing it back, yeah? And that's the real trick with the devil sticks. So keep doing that thing on the floor for quite some time, like this. And then once you get it off the ground, just a nice, gentle, nice, gentle, like so. Okay, keep doing that for a while. Nice and basic. Again, the double sticks is one of those tricks, one of those circus skills that those who are brilliant at it make it look so easy and so skillful. And then when you have a go, you think, wow, how on earth did they do that? Okay. So there is your basic. Then you can start to do little tricks where you can do a flip. So that's, we're going to throw it around a whole spin like that. Half a spin actually that is, isn't it? Yeah, half a spin. So it's going like this and round. Whoop. Again, you'll see I'm not hitting it, I'm just pushing it like this. It was a whole spin attempt. Okay, and then we can go for a whole spin. Same. And then there's this nice one where you can pull the stick backwards and forwards and you get it going flat like that. So it's almost into a sort of spin. Not very good at it, but there we go. And then you can do things like this where you're trapping it on either stick, either side, which is quite nice. Round the stick like that. Whoa. And rubbish. Okay. Try that again. So trapping the stick like this. Round the stick like that. All kinds of things. Just experiment. The great thing with devil sticks is that you know, there are tricks you can make up very easily because you're effectively just using 3 bits of wood. Simple as that. And that, my friends, is devil sticks. So there we go. Okay, we're going to move back to a little bit of juggling now, a little bit more juggling. So we're going to do some clubs. Clubs or battens here, okay, and this is just the same as that ball juggling we were doing at the beginning, and this is perfect to move on to if you are have really nailed the 3-ball juggle and you're getting a little bit tired of that, you want to move on to something else. Clubs just look a bit more spectacular, but they're exactly the same to juggle, really. Okay, and what I'm doing here is how you start. Go sideways on a little bit, just a nice flip. Get a feel for what the clubs feel like in your hand, and you're throwing the centre of the club in terms of weight is about here in the middle. So you're actually holding it about here, so that it spins on itself nicely. You see, and I'm not using my whole arm; I'm just using my fingers and thumbs, really, a bit like a drummer. Little flick like that. Now, when you start, you'll be doing it more like this. That's just inevitable, that's how it feels. But gradually you want to get to a point where you're just flicking it like that. And then try it with your left hand. And just keep them going in both hands, like so. Yeah. Again, clubs are relatively cheap. Jump onto the website, you'll find an online shop. The guys who supply all our circus stuff at Towsey, lovely chaps. If you need some clubs, go and grab some. Again, it's a really nice skill to have. We're not talking about becoming a circus performer, we're just talking about having a skill that's just relaxing, something to do outside, especially in this climate where we've got lots of time on our hands, some people anyway. So there we go, we're flicking the club, You see how little my arms are moving when I'm doing this? Yeah, good stuff. Okay, and then once you've really got a feel for that, put it into the juggle. And I started exactly the same way as I was telling you with the balls. I've got the front club in the front of my hand and the back one kind of under my thumb here, and I put it between my 2 fingers like that to start. That's how I grip it. Okay, other people do it different ways, but that's exactly the same as the balls. And then I've got the other one, third one here in my hand, and exactly the same as the ball juggling. When I throw this one up, it's going to do a turn, and then this one's going to come underneath. I'll just show you, and then we'll go back. The pattern is exactly the same as with ball juggling, yeah? You're just having one more thing to think about, which is flicking the club. But once you've done that for a long, long time, it will become second nature to throw that club. I should have said the next thing to do is to throw the club from one hand to the other. So once you've got this nice flick, you start this. And you'll notice there's a slight angle on the club. I'm sort of tilting my hand slightly like that, so that when it arrives in this hand, it lands like that. See? So it's kind of turned out like that. Part of that is to do with the space there is in the air for where the clubs can go. Okay. So let's just study that 3-club cascade a little bit. You'll see how the clubs are sort of angled slightly, and you'll see how my hand's doing the same pattern as with the balls. It's going round and round and round and round. Yeah? It's quite a satisfying thing to both do and watch. It's very calming until they bash you on the fingers or hit you in the nose. It's not as calming, and that does happen. You will get a few knocks and bruises doing club juggling. They've got a wooden sort of shaft going through them that really does hurt your knuckles if it catches you wrong. But don't let that put you off. You're not gonna do any serious damage, okay? And just like with ball juggling, once you've really nailed this, and I'm moving through this fairly rapidly because the ball juggling is the crucial bit, and once you've got that, things like this will start to come, okay? But again, if you find yourself moving forwards, put something in front of you. Keep the throws nice and low. Try not to end up doing something like this, because the wind will become an issue and they're much harder to control. So get your pattern nice and tight, like so, yeah? And then you can do unders, just like we did with the balls. And what I'm doing with tricks to give yourself a little bit more height is putting a double spin in. So a double spin, that's your single spin, it's a double spin. And that gives you a little bit more time on tricks. Whoops, hit myself in the face, to do things, yeah? So you'll see that quite a lot. So in this under, there's a double spin there, and there, and there, okay? And then you can throw the clubs flat, that we call flying fish, so it looks like this. Ooh, there we go, flying fish. You can go under the leg, just like with the balls. Yeah, you can do a reverse throw, and that's, instead of throwing this way, you're throwing this way. So you're pushing it out of your hand with your finger, like that. So that's a forward throw, that's a reverse throw. You see that in action. There it is. It's actually a double reverse because it gives you more time. Single reverse is a bit fast. Yeah, you got that one. Yeah, what else have you got? Yeah, those chops, that's your unders. You've got the head spin, if I can do it. Ooh, there we go. That's a tricky one. That's where the club goes on your head and it spins like that. That's when you usually bash yourself in the nose. Give that another go. Nearly. You get the idea. Anyway, that's a quick bash of club juggling. Get yourself some clubs if you can already do 3 balls, and you'll have a great time. And then if you've got somebody else who can juggle with you, you can do passing, which is fab, really good fun, and work up to that. More on that later in the year. Cheers. As if by magic, the t-shirt has changed, and I will explain to you why in just 1 second. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of balancing. Now balancing, again, great thing for young people to start with, and really useful in all sorts of circus skills, particularly when you move on to things like slack lines and things. Just having that understanding of balance is great. Now you can do this with anything, any garden rake or a brush or something like that, or just a stick out of the shed, okay? But I'm just going to use this baton here, which is actually a kind of spinning baton that you do that sort of thing with, okay? So, balancing. Start with your finger or your hand. I'm going to do it with my finger. And the trick with balancing is to watch the end of the item that you're balancing, okay? And to move your hand very, very small amounts to counter the movement at the top, okay? I'll show you what I mean. You can see right back here. Okay, so I'm balancing it there. Now if the top moves forward, I move forward, my hand moves forward. If it comes back, I move back. So I'm doing this all the time, making little adjustments to the point where you can get it very, very still like this. Oh, it's a bit windy today, so it's quite difficult. Very, very still, and just by making tiny adjustments, you can balance it on your finger, like so. And it really is just a matter of practice, just like riding a bike. You'll suddenly find that you get it, that it works. Okay, so that's balancing on your finger, and then you can try that with all sorts of objects, brooms, chairs, bits of furniture, whatever. I've got a chair here from inside to show you. It's on my hand. Put the chair there. And you balance it like so. Again, I'm just watching the top point, and every time it moves a bit, I'm adjusting my hand with it. Okay? So that's how you start off with balancing, and then you can move on to putting it on your chin. It's exactly the same. Put it right there in the sort of dimple of your chin, and you watch the top, and you move your head accordingly. Got to keep a close eye on the top. You'll see me doing little movements. I promise you there wasn't somebody up there holding that, okay? So it's exactly the same as on your finger. Put it on your chin, watch the top, and adjust accordingly. And then, once you've done that, yes, like I say, you can have a go with all sorts of garden things. This is a sort of grass rake. It's going to get caught by the wind a bit. Okay. Yeah, the wind is catching that, so that makes it quite tricky. And then try things like chair, why not? Ready? Back now. There we go. And that's balancing. And what that leads on to, naturally, is being able to balance on one wheel. For that, you need the unicycle. Now, not many of you will have this at home, so we won't dwell on this, but great fun, cheap to buy. Have a look online, you'll find all kinds of retailers selling these, and you'll particularly find them secondhand on Gumtree and the like. That's where I tend to pick stuff up like this. And the trick with the unicycle, again, is just purely balance. You start with the pedal like this, so that when you press on it, the saddle goes up underneath you, okay? So you go up like that, and then the unicycle is underneath you. And the way to start is to hold on to something like this, and just rock backwards and forwards until you find that kind of balance point. Usually you want your weights just slightly forward, and a lot of pressure on the pedals so that your bum is out of the saddle a little bit. You're not sitting hard into the saddle, you're out of the saddle a bit. I look a bit silly doing this these days. He's a slightly large man. But that's your basic unicycling. And off you go. Woohoo! Get yourself a unicycle, great fun. I'm out of shape and out of practice, but you get the idea. And if there's any time left in this hour of Circus Skills, whiz back, get the balls out, do the 3-ball juggle. Oh, I'll tell you why I changed t-shirts, I forgot. I was balancing a chair, a garden chair, when I was practicing on my chin, just before I pressed record, and it had loads of old gunky brown stuff in it, and it poured all over me. Sadly, I wasn't recording because you'd have all enjoyed that, I can tell you. So there's the change of t-shirt. Hope you've had a good time, Circus Skills, and I hope Homemade Towsy is giving you that little bit of Towsy magic. If you're having a good time and you've enjoyed yourself, do buy yourself a virtual ticket, help contribute towards the future of the festival and all of the artists that have played for us today. Jump online, you'll find the link to the crowdfunder, buy a virtual ticket, keep juggling, and next year we'll all get together for one big juggle in the field. I want to see everybody juggling. See you then. Take care.